We had a little trouble adjusting to that. I thought we played really good defense the first, 5, 6 minutes. We were really in the stance and position, and then we started putting our hands on a little too much, and that's obviously a rules emphasis, and we didn't adjust well to start the second half. Even guys didn't want to pick up fouls, so they just backed off. And as the game wore on, I thought we got a little better of trying to tighten up our defense and playing great position. I said, look, if they're going to make some plays over the top, so be it, but let's tighten up a little more. And guys tried to really slide and play hands off, but it's a little bit of a scary feeling, but I was thankful for the depth that we had. Marielle came in and gave us a great lift. And Evan, though he didn't shoot it well, he was a good matchup for Lehman, because when we had Anthony or Mike, that was a little more challenging with Lehman being kind of a guard forward type. So those two in particular I thought gave us nice lifts defensively and offensively.
Michael, can you update us on the two guys that got injured?
Yeah, I don't know. That looked like a bad fall on Darian's part. He really got up in it and hit hard. So I don't know. He's moving real slow. We'll take him back, and I'm sure he's not going to enjoy the bus ride, would be my guess. And then Justin, I think, rolled his ankle. I didn't even know. I didn't get to talk to Ethan yet. I will. But he rolled that, and obviously two important players. But that's why you're always ready on the bench. Those guys had to step up and got some valuable time, and hopefully we'll get those guys back soon.
Tony, can you talk about what you saw of Maryland and maybe was a flashback for a couple of years ago with your young guys and see the growing pains that they went through, but also the promise they showed?
No, I think they, watching them, they play together well. And obviously without Dez and without Evan, that affected them. And we lost our two guys, so we're dueling. But those are important pieces for him. But Mark does a real good job. And I thought – they had a lot of talent last year. They have talent this year. It's young, but I thought they looked like they're a little more cohesive watching them in the tournament and when they played. And those young guys are only going to get better and better. I didn't look at the stat line, but Deion Wiley, terrific shooter. Trying to handle Mello off those screens. He didn't shoot it well, but got to the line. He poses some problems, and I think it's a nice team. And the best way to get better is the experience they're getting. I think that that's what helped us in the past, and fortunately we got some upperclassmen now, but you can see the promise there without a doubt.
Tony, it's rare for Malcolm to have back-to-back off games, and he played well tonight. Did you feel he'd come back from the Rutgers game and be solid?
I thought he let it come more, which was very important. In the Rutgers game, I think he was driving the pile a little bit and forcing, and I just thought he had a better pace, and we've talked about this before. It's just there's a sweet spot you got to get to of being assertive, running your offense as a team to score, as a player, being assertive but not forcing. And I thought he was doing that against Rutgers, but then you don't want to get to the point where you're just, I'm not going to look, I'm not even going to be part of it because we need him engaged. And I thought he had a nice balance tonight. I thought that was important, and as a team we were better with that feel tonight as well.
Speaking of Malcolm, Maryland was hanging in there. I think it was an 11-point game. I think it was at the end of the shot clock with 4 minutes left. He hits a three. How reassuring was that at that point?
That was good. Yeah, they switched, and they put the big kid on him. We just said, let's get flat. And, Malcolm, the guy was giving ground, and that was a big shot for us. Good to see Evan hit one, too. But that was a dagger in a sense for that. And, that's teams, it can be tricky when you're going against switching, but then sometimes when you get those mismatches like that, it's good to see him step up because he's made some clutch shots for us over his career.
Tony, your defense, it seems like team after team that you've played has put up its worst shooting night, its lowest point total of the year. What have you done and what did you do tonight against this Maryland team to keep that point total low, keep that shooting?
We didn't do – I told you, I really thought we were locked in that first 6, 7 minutes, 5 minutes. I just, you could see there wasn't any gaps. They were contesting shots. And then I thought with our foul trouble, we didn't play as effective. But our goal is always to just try to take away the lane, which we didn't do well, but really make them shoot contested shots and limit them as best possible to one shot. And to see only 3 offensive rebounds makes me smile because that's huge for us. But it's just a matter of working, being in a stance, relying on each other. It's really a help-oriented defense, and the guys have to be willing to play for each other. When they don't, when there's miscommunication or guys are hugging their guy or not helping on ball screens, we usually break down. And I think as they continue to gel that way, they become hard to score against. Nothing flashy, but it's our way. We know that. Our chance to be good is for us to be as close to great defensively as we can, and then as solid and sound offensively. That's our formula.
Tony,
Oh,
sorry.
Geez. It's all about the base. I think that's the second time with you I had to say that, right?
You mentioned sort of the breakdowns defensively, but it seemed like with the foul trouble, with the injuries, what did you think of the poise you guys showed in this sort of environment to kind of lead from start to finish?
I mean, they're young and they have some injuries, so I understand that they aren't full strength. But I talked to our guys, maybe 10, 11 minutes, just said this is going to come down to who's got the most composure and just the most grit at the end. And I said, you can. That's both defensively and offensively. And our guys didn't get too sped up or panicked. They took we needed to take some time off the clock and got some big buckets. So I like the composure. Again, a couple things I saw, and I'll talk to those guys, whether it was a silly foul in the backcourt or out on the floor, but for the most part, it was there. And they had some, they missed some shots and helped us out. But it's always what it's about, is the ability to be composed in these kinds of settings.
Tony, I know they're in a different conference now, but did this have a Virginia-Maryland feel to you? And two-part question on that is, you remain unbeaten. I know it's early, but what does that mean for you guys?
Yeah, no, it definitely had the rivalry. I tried to tell our guys before the game, they're ranked, you're ranked. It's the Big Ten ACC. It's a rival. I said, Justin, you had committed here. I said, that can really detract from this. I said, this is just a good old-fashioned b-ball game. I said, just play the game. I said, don't get caught up in anything else but our way, playing it, and try not to get, all that. Because you can you felt the intensity from the crowd, the warm fuzzies that they always give us when we come. So but they just, it was revved up. You could feel it. And so it was our ability, I think, just to try to be right, but absolutely it was special, and it was a rival, and it's a great student section. It's very loud, and the place is terrific for that. Again, it's just fortunate that we came away with a win. I like how our guys are playing in stretches. This is the closest game we've played to 40 minutes. We've kind of had good halves, but we haven't strung together maybe 30 minutes, and we're getting closer, and we need it because we could have unraveled a few times with the injuries, but the guys stuck in there. And I told them after the game, I said, you were enjoyable to coach tonight.